Our great friend Monica Crowley, former Assistant Treasury Secretary, hosted the Monica Crowley podcast. Monica, you're writing in Newsweek that the world needs President Trump now more than ever. Would you expand that, please?
Yes, indeed. Well, we have now had a couple of years of President Biden's incredibly weak leadership, if it can even be called leadership. He's constantly projected weakness, ineptitude, equivocation, and moral bankruptcy. We had the exact opposite under President Trump. We had a strong American president who projected strength and kept our enemies off balance. They knew that if they raised a finger against the American people or America's interests around the world, there would be an overwhelming retaliatory response, so they didn't even try it. When you have a United States that's weak or perceived as weak, in the embodiment of a weak commander-in-chief, the good guys retreat, the bad guys advance, and the wheels come off the world. That's exactly what we're seeing now. And this chaotic, barbaric world is crying out for President Trump's strong leadership.
Appeasement of Iran has been a catastrophic disaster. It has absolutely fallen apart. One of my arguments is, whereas Trump took out Soleimani, and Keith was talking about this earlier, we let the mullahs know. We had their phone numbers and their addresses just in case they got frisky. The fact that Biden appeased Iran and let them build up their monetary reserves and their energy sales, that's a big factor in this war. This war would not have happened if Iran was still broke.
Right. I mean, you can't launch this kind of attack without money.
Those are Trump sanctions.
President Trump did exactly the right thing in continuing the sanctions and building on those sanctions with regard to Tehran. But remember, what you're seeing now under President Biden didn't just start under Biden. It started 8 years or 12 years prior under the Obama-Biden administration, because they were so desperate for that destructive, catastrophic nuclear deal with Tehran that they started sending billions of dollars under President Obama. So Biden just picked it up, reversed, reinstated the nuclear deal, which Trump had trashed, rightfully so, and started the flow of cash. And what we've seen, everybody is focused on that $6 billion frozen in Qatar. But remember, since Biden came into office, Larry, he has unfrozen already about $10 billion, and through lax sanctions enforcement have driven about $80 billion more through oil sales to Tehran. So you can't launch this kind of war without money, and they've gotten a hell of a lot of money thanks to Joe Biden.
By the way, oil sales to our enemy, China.
Correct.
They're the principal customer now of Iran.
That's right.
So, which is really quite a remarkable thing. The war on fossil fuels is a big part of this. So we are energy independent. The Bidens are energy dependent. That has a lot to do. They're still ponying around with Iran from 400, 500,000 barrels a day to almost 4 million barrels a day. And the Bidens think that's just wonderful because it might keep gas prices down. I mean, is that just the worst?
Economic security, energy independence. These are all national security issues.
But I think you're making a broad point, though. The world needs Trump more than ever. Trump policies, prosperity at home, Abraham Accords, the Iran story, nagging NATO to pony up, which was the right policy. And also, this is something Bob Lighthizer says all the time, foreign trade representative, a friend of both of ours. Trump rang the bell on China. He rang the warning bell on China like no one had before. I think that's a huge contribution.
Yeah, and also made him a huge target, not just of the Chinese, but all of China's allies around the world, Iran, Russia, and the other nefarious forces around the world, right? It put him right in the crosshairs, but he is the only American president, certainly in recent memory, to take on the Chinese in a very meaningful way, economically, diplomatically, culturally, politically, militarily. He's the only one. President Trump, in 4 short years, Larry, delivered a booming economy, an enforced border, and world peace out of sheer leadership and American strength. I think the world and certainly America misses him very much.
Well, folks are reconsidering now, and that's why President's polls are so high. He's running an issues-based campaign. All this legal stuff, people are putting it aside. They have very little interest in it. It's the prurient press, but the rest of the country is interested in the things you're mentioning. And that's why Trump has become very popular again.
Absolutely, and just the stark comparison to all of the Biden catastrophes here. Also, it's a very fresh memory for the American people. They don't need to reach back back to the Reagan years to be reminded of strong American presidential leadership and a strong economy and a strong military. They just have to now go back 3 years pre-COVID to President Trump.
Got it.
And they want it back.
Monica Crowley, the world needs President Trump now more than ever.
More than ever.
Newsweek. Is there Newsweek magazine? It's online now.
It's online.
All right.
Yep.
Good article. Thanks for coming back.